Make the most of your spring break road trip. From Canyonlands to Zion National Park and all the parks in between, we've got a list of the must-see bucket list sites you don't want to miss. Bob Grove with Road Trippin' with Bob and Mark is joining me with the details. It's great to see you.
It's great to be back.
You're bringing the hope of spring plans with you, which we're grateful for. You see this year, though, Bob, things look a little different at some of the parks.
Well, gosh, we've had so much snow that normally people are wanting to get out of the snow up here north and go down to southern Utah.
Yeah.
We happen to have the highest the highest percentage above average of snow in the state.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I was just in Zion National Park earlier this week. The rain took over the snow, so it's getting better.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Let's jump into your list. And with it, we always love when you share those insider tips that can help us make the most of these attractions. Let's start with Arches.
Arches National Park, and of course, it's one of our iconic parks. Delicate Arch at Arches National Park is a bucket list hike to make. Now, one thing I have to say about Arches right off the bat is that it requires a reservation now. They have a timed entry system at Arches National Park, so you do have to make a reservation before you go. So do that, and if you do, try to get early morning because you want to do Delicate Arch early in the morning, but you got to do that. It's about a 3.5 mile hike, round trip.
Okay.
But of course, it's an iconic landmark for the state.
Well, if they're putting it on our license plates and our welcome signs, it's something to see.
Absolutely.
Any other popular spots we don't want to miss at Arches?
Well, there's the window section where there's double arch. Now, this is where scenes from the movie Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade were filmed, so you might recognize that if you remember that movie.
Next, let's head to Bryce Canyon, another can't miss on your list.
Absolutely. I love Bryce Canyon. It is buried with snow right now, but that's really cool because seeing Bryce with that added layer of color, of contrast is really neat. I recommend going to Bryce Point. This is the best place for sunrise, and I do recommend if you can see sunrise, do it. It's magical, and Bryce Point is the best place to see that.
Next up, Canyonlands.
Canyonlands Mesa Arch, another iconic landmark at our national parks. Mesa Arch, you've probably seen in a lot of photographs and didn't really know where it was, but that's another wonderful sunrise moment.
All of these photos are just so majestic. It's hard to believe they're real. I mean, and you do see them on postcards, like you say, or photographs or license plates, and this is right here for us to soak in and enjoy.
Absolutely.
Let's go to Capitol Reef. What do we want to see there?
Oh, Capitol Reef. This is where I really introduced my kids to the national parks. I took them to, my young boys especially, I took them to Grand Wash. Now, the experienced park goers in Utah are going to be familiar with most of these landmarks that I'm talking about, but Grand Wash is a magical slot canyon. And it's one where it's a great introduction to enjoying the outdoors and what slot canyons are, because we have a lot of them in southern Utah, and this is a great place to go for that.
All right, and finally, Zion National Park.
Zion National Park is my favorite park. I live 20 minutes from the entrance to the park. Angel's Landing, of course. Now, Angel's Landing requires a permit now, so you can't just show up and go on an Angel's Landing hike. So you got to get that permit in advance. And then also the Narrows, another very popular hike at Zion National Park. Now, I mentioned I was just at Zion. The river is very high. The Narrows are closed when the river gets to 150 cubic feet per second. And I expect that's probably going to be the case all the way through into early summer because we have so much snow to come.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the river is running very high right now. So, but there are some other alternative places where you can go
if you can't get a reservation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have a lot of this information on our blog. I mean, I packed full of information about how to see the national parks. And if you only have a day to see them, I've got recommendations of how to do that.
Tell us where your blog can be found.
It's roadtrippinwithbobandmark.com.
Okay, we'll link you there from our website. Thank you for this must-see bucket list, little inside tricks to enjoy along the way. We appreciate the insight.
You bet.